What is your profession?
So here we have 2,000 points of Imperial Guard. We've got a nice mixture of infantry, but we've also got a big tank wedge today. So we'll go over the infantry first, and then I'll go through the details on what's on each tank. There are 10 infantry squads here. Each one has just got a sergeant and a grenade launcher. And then we have 3 astropaths with las pistol, 3 commissars with power sword and bolter, and then 3 company commanders who have just got las pistol and chainsword. So there we go. So that's quite simple. 100 bodies with some support characters, nice and easy. Then we have the heavy armour element for today. We've got Pask in a Leman Russ with battle cannon, las cannon and 2 heavy bolters. We've got 3 tank commanders, 1 just with battle cannon and las cannon, 1 with demolisher cannon, las cannon and plasma cannon sponsons, another one with battle cannon, las cannon and heavy bolters. And then finally we have 3 regular Leman Russes. 2 of them are exterminators with the twin exterminator autocannon, and then we have 2 each one's got plasma sponsons and a heavy bolter. So there we go. So 7 tanks and 100 infantry. I'll be running this as 3 battalions today, and also the entire army is going to have the Cadian regimental doctrine. So I know we have some Mordians here, but they're just advisors to the main bulk of this force, which is actually all going to be counted as Cadian today. So let's see what they're facing off against. So today Johnny will be bringing his Blood Angels and his new super secret project, which I literally only found out about 5 minutes ago. I had to sit down with the shock, because guys, supporting these Blood Angels today is a cohort of Imperial Knights, Hawkshroud Knights to be specific. 3 of them, 2 Castellans and 1 regular knight who is looking very small next to these big boys. So Johnny, I'm assuming the Blood Angels, you've just got 15 tactical marines and a captain lieutenant?
Yeah, so the captain's got a jump pack Thunderhammer, and the lieutenant's got a mastercrafted bolter and a chainsword.
Okay.
And 3 squads of tactical marines, and they're just going to be we're going to be trying out the bolter rule, the beta rule today.
Yeah.
So if they stand still, they'll be able to fire rapid fire. And then I've got, in my knights, I've got a 3 knight detachment, that gives me 6 command points. The Blood Angels obviously give me 5, and 3 for being bound. So I've got 2 Dominus class. I've got 1 of each of the toys because I just like both of them and I just wanted to use both. I've gone Hawkshroud. So this guy's using Traitor's Pyre, and obviously he's got his harpoon. And I've gone for 2 of the missiles and 1 of the cannons, and I know that's counter to what's the best sort of combo as called to what's online, but that just fits in with my ideas for tournament play. And then I've got the next guy. Now he doesn't have the sort of murder relic that everybody takes because I'm not Mechanicus, so he's just as he is, but he has the relic that gives him a 2-up armor save, and then this guy's got Endless Fury, and then the sort of fusion that I can't remember what it's called, the big fusion thermal cannon, that's it. So in terms of warlord trait, this guy's got a 4-up invuln and then Traitor's Pyre, and then as I said, this guy's got the 2+ save, and that guy's got the Endless Fury. So I've spent 3 command points to have 2 extra relics, and I've got that warlord that warlord trait on this guy.
Excellent. So 3 knights fully kitted out. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to need my armour detachment today. The Cadians, they did not know, their intelligence has let them down. They did not know what they were going to be facing off against today. When Johnny said to me, bring over some cheese, I thought, I'll bring over a bit of cheese. 7 Leman Russes is pretty hardcore, but it's going to be interesting to see what we're going to be facing off against today. I have to say,
it's been so difficult to not tell Tim about this project over the last 6 or 8 weeks whilst I've been building them and painting them up. I've just been absolutely dying to tell to him about it, but I just really wanted to keep it a secret so that one day we could have a battle report once they were fully painted with some mega cheese. So I told Tim to bring the cheese, and let's see what we can do for this debut.
Yeah. So in terms of my warlord traits and psychic powers, I'm going to have each one of these guys is going to have one psychic power, each astropath. This one is going to have psychic barrier, this one's going to have night shroud, and this one's going to have psychic maelstrom. And my warlord for today will be not Creed. I mean, it's the Creed model, but he's not actually going to be Creed, and he will have the strategic tactical training warlord trait. And my relic bearer today is I'm going to take Pask's battalion will be one of the special ones for Vigilus, the armoured fist attachment, and that's just so I can give him the relic battle cannon, which is does a flat 3 damage. So there we go, guys. We'll roll off. We'll do mission and everything, but we'll be back after the field. We'll be back after the deployment and the field of battle. Just gonna change my warlord trait actually, guys, because there's no point in taking superior tactical training because I've only got 10 squads and I've already got plenty of orders here. So I'm actually going to change that so he can have old grudges, which is pretty much the standard one you want to be taking when you're facing Imperial Knights. So before we start today's battle, I want to give a big shout out to Pwork War Games for sending me this battle mat and also this MDF terrain here that you can see. This big military base style one, these platforms, and of course this big citadel. All this was provided by Pwork War Games. Absolutely fantastic. I've painted this stuff up myself. I used a mixture of the texture paint, the Astro Granite texture paint, and then just a couple of sort of greys and known oils and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, this is their combat terrain sets. 1, 2, 3 and 4 are on this board. And then also this battle mat, lovely sort of rubberized neoprene battle mat, standard sort of massive mouse mat ones that you get. This is the Darkberg one, and this is quite good. It's a
little thinner than a normal one, but that's not actually a bad thing.
You think it is?
Flows over.
I have actually compared this to 2 other battle mats, and it is actually exactly the same thickness. It's just a bit lighter, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think it goes over, like we've got the hinges in our board, and it kind of just goes over them a lot more smoothly. So I think that, it's fine. It depends.
It's more fluid.
Yeah, it's a bit more fluid.
And the last thing to say is it's quite good for both fantasy and 40k because it's a ruined city, ruined Gothic city, so you can use that for either
I'm
setting.
sure if you wanted to get really nerdy about it, you could like have that bit of terrain in between these roads, and I don't really care, but you could do that.
Last thing to say is I want to give a quick shout out to Pandemonium Miniatures for sending me this Imperial bunker. There'll be a link down to the description below for both Pandemonium Miniatures and Pwork War Games for the battle mat and for the terrain. And of course, my opponent today will be Johnny, my regular Blood Angels opponent. He has his own channel now, Schola Progenium. There'll be a link down in the description below. Please go and check it out and support that. He's got loads of Blood Angels tactics and anti-guard tactics if that's what you're into.
Yeah, just put up a video on anti-guard.
Just put a video up on anti-guard. So there we go, guys. We'll get back to the battle report now. So here we have the Cadian forces, infantry screening the heavy armour all the way across. We've got the 2 demarches up front, and then we have the other armoured elements in the back here. Battle cannons, exterminator autocannons, the whole thing. Moving over to the knights, they have deployed in a pretty classic knight formation. 2 knights at front, 1 knight at back, providing fire support. Blood Angels captain there. The guard have deployed 22 inches away from the big knight, just over 22 inches away from the big knight, with the flame and the harpoon, because it's only got a 10-inch move. It can only charge 12 inches, so that won't be able to get a charge on us this turn. And then they've got their Blood Angel CP battery in here with this fire support knight taking cover behind this huge citadel. The objective today, the mission today is beachhead. That means there's 1 objective in the centre and 1 in each person's deployment zone. And basically, after battle round 1, the player at the end of each battle round scores a point if they hold their own objective, and they score 2 points if they hold the centre objective, and if you somehow manage to get over to your opponent's objective, you score 3 points. But I think it's going to be a big old fight for the central objective, basically. The Knights won to deploy first, so they deployed everything first. The Guard then counter-deployed. Now we have but one choice, to try and seize the initiative. Now, we could do with this. Will the Commissar approve?
I really want to go first battle.
Let's see what happens. No, we do not seize. Therefore, the Guard will instantly spend 2 command points to put everything in cover.
That's fair enough.
Let's see what happens after Knights turn 1. So not a bad turn 1 for the Knights. This guy moved forward, was able to incinerate most of a squad over here. And that was pretty much it. His backhand didn't do anything, his missile missed. And then this guy charged in and finished that squad off. His thermal cannon was able to do 7 wounds to this guy, and his Gatling cannon shredded a squad. And the last thing to say is the volcano cannon just absolutely annihilated Pass, but then the rest of the shooting was pretty poor. So 1 tank locked up, 1 tank killed, and about 20 infantry down. So not a bad first turn for the Knights. Let's see how the Cadians can respond to this super heavy threat charging towards them. So the Cadians stood firm in the face of the assault from the Imperial Knights. All infantry squads unloaded into the Knight Crusader. We were able to do 6 wounds to him, and this also allowed us to use overlapping fields of fire, which meant that my tanks were then able to unload holy hell into him. These 2 tank commanders stayed still. I should say I used jury rigging on this guy so that he went up a level into his another bracket. They unloaded into this knight, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and they just absolutely tore him to pieces. It was not a good sight to behold. He did explode. Johnny was considering using the super explode stratagem, but he was worried he would do more wounds to his own knight here, so he didn't. But as a result, he on average killed 3 from the surrounding squads, but it was only a 4-inch explosion. He did also do 3 damage to this guy here. That then meant that these tanks here were free to unload onto this knight dominant, and his natural 4-up save did help him a little bit, but he still has been brought down to just 9 wounds, and the reason for that is because these guys had not pounded to dust, old grudges against, which meant they were getting so many rerolls against him. And he was just, his natural 4-up save, just iron shield was flickering. But he is standing proud, he is Hawkshroud, so he's still probably absolutely fine because of his natural trait. So he's still on full capacity, but he's pretty badly damaged. So let's see what the Knights can do. One of their number has fallen, one of the numbers taken basically 2/3 damage. Almost. But they are still in the fight, so let's see what they can do. So the Knights are angry, harpooning 1 tank and absolutely annihilating it, volcanoing another tank and destroying it, and then plasma and melter guns just vaporize the 3rd tank. An infantry squad was flamed to death, another one from just scattered fire from just sort of cannons and things, and then being charged was destroyed as well. So it's 3 infantry squads down as well. So 3 tanks, 3 infantry squads. Really good turn by the Knights. And then this guy came up here and killed the commander and the commissar. So absolutely, the Knights, what they looked at died basically. So I should also say shield breaker missile came in here. Johnny had to use a reroll and just annihilated the warlord. So he's only got 4 command points left, but he's got rid of my old grudges. He's got rid of all my decent anti-tank here. So it's going to be an uphill struggle for the Guard. Let's see if they can do anything going into their turn 2. So the Imperial Guard were able to fire back with great effect. It's a real just back and forth game. We actually, from these infantry squads, just 2 infantry squads.
And a Psyker.
And a Psyker. The Psyker. Thank you for reminding me. This guy, every game I use him, just bangs out the Psychic Maelstrom. We did have to have a command point to help him get him off this time, but he did 4 wounds to the Knight. And then these guys did a wound to him, and then overlapping fields of fire, and he only had 3 wounds left. And then these guys, and he took a wound from like a grenade launcher, and he had 3 wounds left. And this squad here loaded into him and got 6 sixes to wound. They didn't even have first rank fire, second rank fire. They just got a ridiculous amount of wounds. And then Johnny had a 3-up save, and he failed all 3. He'd already used his reroll at that point. He couldn't use it. So that was it. That night went. He did not explode. And then this guy unloaded, using the Astra Path to remove cover, unloaded into the Blood Angel captain there, and Johnny again just failed a save. So Johnny doing horrendous damage, but just not being able to make basic saves. So he just got pummeled by autocannons. And then this guy and this guy fired into the remaining knight, but we were only able to do, he's got 2 arms, so we were able to do 2 damage to him from one of the autocannon rounds. So that was okay. Point wise, I misread the mission. I thought it was the end of the battle round, because that's what a lot of the chapter approved missions are, but it's not. It's at the beginning of your turn. You count how many objectives you've got. So I actually only have 1 point for holding this objective. Johnny has 3 points for holding this objective. But yeah, now it's going to be on. The final knight is coming out to play. He's seen his 2 brethren fall, and now he wants to finish off these upstart guardsmen.
Yep.
So as this knight strides forward, he looks down upon the puny mortals in their metal boxes in front of him, and he decides he does not like those metal boxes. He's going to take them away from them. And so his Volcano Lance once more opens fire with casual ease, even though he was -1 to hit because of smoke launchers. He got three shots from his Volcano Lance. He got 3 hits, 3 wounds, and 3 just absolutely horrendous damage rolls. And the tank commander, the final tank commander, was vaporized, but a mote of dust on the wind. then the plasma and the missile and the bitch cannon. I don't know why I keep calling it the bitch cannon, because it's so weak in comparison to the volcano cannon. Was able to put 5 wounds on him. And then, the ironically named bitch cannon.
Missiles just miss flat out.
The siege breaker missiles have not done great. And then the bolter.
They did kill the warlord. They did. That was sick.
And then the bolters were open fire here, and they killed 5 guys, but 2 were left.
1 5-man squad.
1 5-man squad with the new bolter drill rule killed 5 guys from long range. I did have take cover on them, and then I spent 1 point for taking my leadership test on a D3, and they got a 1, so they're stuck around thanks to the Commissar's leadership. So yeah, there you go. So the Knights have got 4 points now, and I have 2 points at the beginning of turn 3. So yeah, because you're on 4 points for them, 2 points for me. And this guy did 1 damage to himself with his overcharging plasma. So there's 1 knight left on the field, but I don't really have a lot that can deal with him.
But I can't really make any saves.
So you can't really make any saves. And Psychic Maelstrom Guy of Doom is on the field.
What's the range of that?
It's 18 inches, so he's... But I could move and advance, and I might be able to get something.
So you're 3 levels up.
I might be able to get something. The closer he gets, the more Maelstrommed he's going to become. So let's see what happens going into Imperial Guard turn 3. So the humble guardsmen have burst forth from cover. Using a mixture of move and advance and move, we've managed to create rings within rings, layers within layers to try and stop the advance of this behemoth. This is 1 squad got 12 inches on its move and advance, and then again 12 inches with its move. So it went 24 inches. It's created a double line screen there. We've got a 2-man there, obviously in range of the objective. Got a 2-man squad in range of the objective, screened by another. Looks like a 7-8-man squad there. 7-man squad, and then we have a full squad here, which again moved and advanced and created a barrier to this big squad. So I've merged 2 squads together. Got them in range of the objective, and then put Night Shroud and Psychic Barrier on them. So they are tough, they are hard to see, and they are in range of the objective. I want that objective. In my shooting phase, pretty lackluster, but I decided that thanks to bolter discipline, every bolter that I can get rid of is a big deal. So my autocannons fired at the bolter marines, and my plasma cannons heavy bolters went into the knight. The knight stood firm, made 2 5-up saves on 6s against 2 plasma cannons. That would have been 4 damage otherwise, and 2 marines from up top have been slain. So 2 less bolter shots, and we have mobbed this objective. Let's see what what I now call the Marines, because there's only 1 knight left, can do against this big horde of guardsmen. There's a lot of guardsmen on that objective. Can they just strip them all away, or will the guard just keep piling squad after squad after squad onto that objective? Let's see what happens going into Imperial Knight turn 4. So the ground trembling, the knight charges through into the guardsman. The Space Marines cleared a path, and he went through. He was able to kill the 2-man squad here, the 10-man squad, and the 7-man squad through shooting and combat. And 5 of these guys have died as well. I actually take a leadership check for them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to spend 1 command point, and they lost 5, which means at most they can roll an 8, and they're within 6 inches of that commissar, which means they automatically pass that. So I'm on 2 command points left. 2. So the volcano cannon for once didn't get like 6 hits. It still hit, it still wounded, but it only got 1 shot, and it was able to do 8 wounds to this Lehman Russ. So that is really insignificant because I'm still holding my objective now. So that's the end of Knight's turn 4. At the end of that, they're on 5 points. And the guard now are going to jump up to 5 points as well, because they now have 2 points for being within 3 inches of the objective and 1 point for holding their own. So it's 5-5 going into guard turn 4. So this is very interesting, guys. So here we go, guys. The guard turn was a little lackluster. Johnny was really good with the saves. It's about time, and my autocannons weren't able to pitch any Marines from the battlements. The reason I was doing that is because they can just really shred into my guardsmen with their disciplined bolter fire, so I really want to stop that. And everything else, I was able to do 1 wound to a knight, so pretty lackluster, unfortunately. But we have absolutely dogpiled this objective. We've got about 4 or 5 units in range of it now. So it's it's the knights and Imperials are going to have their work cut out for them. But let's see what happens going into their turn 5. They only get 1 extra point this turn.
Because you have the majority.
Because I have the majority, so they've got 6 points. That's it. So, let's see what happens going into their turn 5, potentially last turn of the game for the Knights. It's all about this central objective. The Knight, again, the Space Marines cleared a screen. Their shooting was a little colder this time, although to be fair, their shooting was really hot the first 2 turns that they fired.
So to kill 3 characters.
But they still managed, but between his Knight shooting and killed off 3 characters, charged in, but thanks to Psychic Barrier, which gives you +1 to your save until the start of your next turn. It's not just against ranged weapons. I was actually only took 5 casualties +1 from a cannon, 6 casualties. I then used 1 command point. I've got 1 left to take my leadership on a D3, and only 1 guy ran away. And in return, he took 1 wound from overcharging and 1 wound from a bayonet, somehow finding a weak point in this monstrosity's armour. So, at the beginning, this will be potentially last turn of the game. Beginning of the turn for the guard, we're going to go up to 8 points versus the Knights 6 points. So this is going to be really big. Let's see what happens going into Imperial Guard turn 5. So Imperial Guard turn was okay. We managed to take this guy down. He's taken 10 wounds now. And then again, continuing with the idea of let's stop as many bolter shots as possible, I was able to kill 2 Marines. And I've also moved outside of their 24-inch range. If they want to get double shots on me, they're going to have... Well, they can't get double shots on me. They've got to move to get in range, so they can't use bolter discipline. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's 8 points to the guard currently, and it's 6 points to the Imperial Knights and Blood Angels, but they have Warlord. So it is 7 points. Does the game end? Guard really want it to end. Imperial Knights really want it to continue. Let's see what happens. So 3, the game continues. I think that's pretty much going to win it for the Knights, but let's play it out and see what happens. That puts them up to 8 points in total, including First Blood at the beginning of their turn. So rather predictably, the Knight beat down the remaining guardsman and his officer, although the officer did manage to get a wound to him on with a frag grenade on Overwatch, which is pretty cool. And the Volcano Lance did blow up this final Lehman Russ, which means this guy has got 1 wound left from the explosion, and this guy took 2 as well, so he is on 10 wounds, so he's only got 2 wounds left. This guy was just out of range of the explosion. I've done that on purpose to avoid any potential chain reactions and stuff. So that is it. So currently, at the end of their turn, beginning of their turn 6, the Knights were on 8 points, including First Blood. Now, at the start of the Imperial Guard turn, we're within range of our own objective, which means we go from 8 to 9 points. So there's no point in me. I'm not going to kill a knight with everything. It's not physically possible with the firepower I have left to kill that knight. So all we're going to do is roll this dice.
It goes to turn 7.
On a 1 to 3, the guard win by 1 point. On a 4, 5, or 6, the knights will win. It's as simple as that, guys. So it couldn't be any closer. Let's see what happens. It's been an absolute cheese fest. Let's see what happens. It's a 2. The guard clinch it with 1 point. Absolutely fantastic battle. Could not have gone any better. Just going to shake hands. There we go. So, quick wrap up. Me and Johnny would both say that that game was one of complete topsy-turviness. In fact, we're just going to look at this guy. So, complete topsy-turviness. And there are a couple of points on both times. Because the game with Knights is so swingy. Like, you get absolutely smashed by the Knights, and then if you even kill 1 or 2 Knights, you basically smash them back. And so there's a couple of times when both me and Johnny were a little downhearted because I got absolutely smashed losing 3 tanks, and Johnny got absolutely smashed losing a Knight and half his wounds on his other Knight. So it is very much a roller coaster of emotions when you're playing Knights or playing against them. And then once the initial couple of turns were over, though, that's when the game began properly.
It got tactical.
And it got tactical at that point.
Which I didn't expect with Knights.
At the beginning, it was very much of, he's running towards me, I'm trying to hold the line, and then that sort of final turn, I thought, I'll hold off, I won't do the final infantry burst on my turn 3. But I had to. If I hadn't done that, there's no way I would have had enough points at the end of that game. No way. I wouldn't have been able to get anywhere near that Knight. He would just sat on the objective blocking me. So that's what I mean. It got tactical. It came down to one decision by the guard. And, maybe it was one movement phase too late for the Knights. Maybe they should have moved forward turn 1 with that.
Move forward turn, yeah. Move further turn 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
I moved 4 inches, I should have moved 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
there's no point hesitating.
Yeah, maybe, these... I tell you what, though. That's minor things. Dice... Yeah,
I mean, the rule of the Loyal 32 could be challenged by Bolter Marines now if this beta rule comes in, because it might be nice having 30 guardsmen nice and cheap, but if you pay a little bit more, you can have you can
do it with scouts.
Yeah,
you can do it with scouts.
Yeah, you can do it with scouts.
3 squads of scouts.
I like that they're tough though, because when you try to, because it will often, I think, get to a point with the Knights where there's no point shooting the last Knight and these guys will start taking fire.
Yeah, well, that's what happened.
I like having them over the scouts.
Yeah, that's what happened. So that's very true. Like, it did get to the point when it was there's no point in me. I wasn't going to kill that Knight, so I wasn't ever going to reduce its firepower. I mean, if I was playing anything other than Hawkshroud, I would have been smashing into that Knight trying to degrade it. But I was playing Hawkshroud, which meant I had to basically ignore it because it was never going to. I had taken down 7 wounds. I was never going to reduce that thing's firepower to the point where it stopped doing damage to me.
I like that over Mechanicus a long way. I know this guy can. Everyone's gonna. 1 or 2 people, I say everyone, might comment saying, you should be taking the Mechanicus thing because then you can take Call's Wrath. But I like the reroll wounds on the Flamer because that just means he's not going to mess up even against. A bad roll on wounds against an infantry squad, just like 3-1s, can mess up your day.
Yeah.
He's just always going to clear the path, always going to charge through. I like the rerolls on him.
Yeah.
I just prefer it that way, and I like the Hawkshroud in terms of the
durability,
the resiliency, the durability, because that just saved me time and again. I was hitting on 3s.
I think if I'd been any other... me and Johnny both agreed we were going to have a competitive game today, and if I had brought anything other...
An ultimate
then a Cadian list. That had to be Cadian. I had to use overlap and fields of fire. If I hadn't been that,
you could fit in.
All the tanks I could fit. I mean, I could fit more in, but
you had just enough infantry. If you'd taken
one less squad.
If you'd taken the sponsons on the tank that you didn't take sponsons on, and if you'd taken the sponsons and not taking those infantry, that would have been the difference in the game. I would have beaten you by 1 point. You would have not got that.
Yeah, exactly.
So. You need to have those infantry. It doesn't matter how many guys you've got.
Yeah, I tell you what though, the ability to take so many tanks and tank commanders is incredible. Like, I definitely I want to find a way of squeezing more. I want to try and find a way to get one more tank in there without losing the amount of infantry I have. Because if I can do that, it will give me a little bit more durability against turn 1 nuking.
I would have liked to win my first game with knights, sort of on the 2 channels. And it's my first game. I've played a couple of casual cheeky games against my mates before revealing them to Tim, just to sort of learn the rules. I've only played 2 games with him. I would have liked to have won the first game, but what can you do? Lost it by 1 point. They're pretty cool.
Could not have come closer. It just shows the power of the knights. The fact that I'm using my guard, which I've been using for 15 years, versus Johnny, who's using a knight army he's relatively
I do know
new
my
to.
stuff in terms of 40k.
Yeah, of course. But it just goes to show these things are absolutely insanely powerful, and it was good. It's good. We're going to start trying to bring a few more cheesier lists to the channel. We normally play cheesy lists off channel, and then play sort of friendlier, more cinematic games when we're playing on the camera. But I think we're going to start, especially with a tournament we've got coming up in a few months. We want to basically start practicing for that, really get our lists nailed down. So
because it's a team tournament and you can't take the same army more than once, and we're all Imperium, the guys on the team, these knights are going to be the missing link.
Yeah,
I'm really pleased with the project and how they came out. So
yeah,
all in all, really fun army to use. I don't think it was too bad for you either. I think it was quite fun.
Oh, it was horrible. Those first 2 turns were really, really horrible, but I managed to.
The knights have a big disadvantage in terms of actually scoring points, especially in the new chapter approved missions. They didn't get very nerfed in chapter approved, but the missions got made sort of not in their favour. So you are on an uphill struggle with the knights to try and actually gain points in a lot of the missions. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those. They're really powerful. You've only got 5 or 6 models left on the field, but they lost out on points, which I think is often the case with knights.
I think that's almost the way it's meant to be. The knights are meant to destroy things, but if you can play the mission and outpoint them, then it goes in there. It goes in your favour, basically.
Guard players have that ability because they can take so many infantry.
Yeah,
it takes a couple.
But there you go, guys. I just want to say, I should have said this at the beginning of. Oh no, sorry. So yeah, that's fact.
Okay.
So there you go, guys. Bit of an after action report there. I might do a more in-depth one afterwards. There you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this this battle. Want to say once again, my man of the match has to be Psychic Maelstrom Psyche. He by himself pretty much took off 10 wounds from the Imperial Knights. He never failed to get that power off. He had to have a command point here and there to help him do it. But taking 10 wounds off Knights and there's nothing they can do about it is absolutely fantastic. So this guy's going to be my man of the match. Who do you want to be your man of the match, Johnny?
It's difficult because my Warlord, this guy,
I'd say him without a doubt, to be honest. He killed tank. He killed tank a turn, pretty much every turn.
No, for 3 turns. But I like the Baron Harkonnen. So as usual, he just jumped back, got onto the train, wiped out characters, and in a one fell swoop, decapitated you, so to speak.
That's true. I did have 2 less orders,
it's hard
which
to
made
say.
a big difference.
The Knights in general, I think it's got to be this guy actually, just because I like his harpoon. He got that harpoon shot off and blew something up, and that's just cool. I just like that. That's why I got this guy, because I like him and he's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this battle report. Bit different to what we normally do. Way more cheesy and competitive. Of course, there's even more cheese that we can bring to the table, but this was a more full-bodied cheddar than an absolutely filthy, Stiltony brie-like cheese list that we could potentially bring. But it's these knights are a good cheese colour, which is perfect. There you go. But there, I hope you guys enjoyed a bit more of a cheesy fest on the channel, and leave lots of comments. Tell what you thought about each list. Tell us how you think we could improve it. And once again, just want to mention, if you want to check out Johnny's channel, Schola Progenium, there'll be a link down in the description below, and you can see lots and lots of his tactics. He covers Death Watch, Blood Angels, probably Knights now.
It's mainly Blood Angels. I won't really be featuring the Knights on my channel very much, because there's plenty of that out there.
Yeah, true.
I'm just going to be sticking to those in-depth tactics, having to win games.
And if you're a person that plays against the Guard, then you should check Johnny's channel, because there's a lot of anti-Guard tactics on there, which is very important, obviously, because Guard are quite strong in 8th edition, so it's sort of anti-meta tactics. But there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this battle report. Once again, I just want to mention a big thank you to Pworks War Games for sending in this battle mat and all this terrain. And I also want to say a big thank you to Pandemonium Miniatures for providing me with this bunker. Absolutely fantastic. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the battle report. Hope you enjoyed all the terrain and the battle mat and the 2 lists. and I'll see you guys next time.